Hello.
That was neat.
Hello again. What's good?
Man, this feels like we haven't done this in a while.
I was prepared for my, before your little backstage blooper just then because that was not me, but uh I was like fully prepared for my intro story because I haven't had a good one in a while. And I'm not even going to say that this is a good one, but he kind of got me flustered for a second. But anyway, so for the last like 4 days, I have been without my AirPods. And that just seems dumb. But I don't have any headphones that will connect to my phone. My AirPods work. And they've been missing for like 4 days. And my work days have been completely like miserable. Like, not the work itself, but like, I usually just like sit in the break room and I watch TV or I watch YouTube or do whatever on my phone. And it's like been now I'm listening to loud and people, and it's just put me in a bad mood. But today I went to put this hoodie on and I don't know if they were in this hoodie pocket. I don't know if it was behind it or somehow got underneath of it. Like, I don't think it could have been in this hoodie pocket, but they just fell out. And I just felt like a boost of serotonin and like go right. That was like 10 minutes ago. But like, so I'm like, I'm feeling fairly well going into this stream today. Not about the picks, just about the fact that we're here and we're doing it. But
Really
um
fast, before we go any further, I want to say hi to Miss Mandy Brown, who stopped in over here tonight. I don't know that I've seen her over here before.
she's been in here before.
Okay, I just it's some people kind of cross back and forth, but I didn't remember seeing her. But she is one of the great supporters that we have in our overall community, and I love her to death for it. And she's always awesome, and I want to at least get a chance to say that. And Merry Christmas to Miss Mandy.
Um, I'm also gonna combat what you just said and say, well, pay attention to your followers. Because I feel like she's in here like actually kind of often.
I don't remember seeing her when I'm on.
No,
So
it's only when it's me and you. I don't know if I've seen her on just me, but I know I've seen her multiple. So
hey,
that's on you.
I'm just saying that because I hadn't it was something I hadn't noticed. Chris already took offense to that. Of course he would. Sarcasm comes right out of his mouth instantaneously, no matter what.
Oh, I didn't even notice that Chris was here. So,
Yeah, see,
all right. My camera was about to like fuzz out on me. So, we're good though. But yeah, we're back in the Wednesday seat again. We've got, things to do and choices to make and bad decisions to think about because I feel like that pretty much just sums up the the prediction side of the NFL. Us trying to make sense of any kind of like stupid chaos.
you know, well, let's just start with this. As far as the NFL goes, you're kind of critical of me because I sometimes I pick very safely and you take a lot of chances. Um, but Nathan has blown by us, and I don't like losing. So I'm gonna do my best to catch Nathan over the rest of the season for CBS.
Bro, I've given up. I have actually like admitted defeat to you because I'm just so butthurt that I am so bad at this.
You're
And the chances I take are reasonable ones. Like, you sit here and not just you, but like, I don't want you to get offended, but you guys sit here, you tell me I'm crazy, like, no way it's gonna happen, blah, blah. And then we go and we get in these games and all these. Everyone told me I was crazy for picking the Colts over the Vikings. The only thing crazy about that is the Colts don't know how to close a fourth quarter. They went up 33-0 at halftime. I picked these and I'm not that far off. Like, the ones that I pick, even though I'm wrong, I'm almost right. Like, talking about the Texans with Dallas. I told you the Texans would lose by like 3 points to the Chiefs. You know, I I didn't say. I actually said that Denver would put up 24 in Kansas City. But like all these upsets that I picked, they're not always outlandish. Like
N-
it's not all just wishful thinking.
Okay, let's just refresh before you sit and beat yourself up anymore. A lot of national analysts miss worse than we do. Um, we do really well. Although you're a few games behind in CBS, you do very well, and your logic is there. Sometimes you don't get the luck that's involved with.
Sometimes you get like officiating crews like Carl Sheffers, and then your whole day gets ruined. And I'm gonna talk about him today. I'm still mad at him about last week, and I'm gonna talk about him this week too. With that being said,
Well, hold on a second, but look, if the officiating crew would have been anything halfway competent, the Raiders would not have won that game because the touchdown that tied it up wouldn't have counted.
yeah, but Carl Sheffers wasn't there to ruin the entire game.
I mean, there's all kinds of variables that go in. We're lucky to get this many right.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Crafty, we put a good bit of effort into our picks. We discussed games prior to and different things about the games. She'll drop me tweets about different variables that are coming up. We put a lot of time into our picks. Honestly, we don't just grab a list and go down it most of the time.
I mean, I feel like I do, but I have like the whole like weekend, the NFL weekend, which is like Tuesday, Wednesday. Like I have it to sit and think on it and see things that happen. But when we get here, I try to go with my gut as much as possible. And so just for that purpose. But what do you say we jump into this? We got 16 games to cover today, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
So the funny thing is about today. Normally, when we get in here on Wednesdays, I've already got my picks made and I'm decided. I'm undecided on about 5 or 6 games this week right now.
I haven't
And
made a single pick this week. Well, I made one. You already know which one that is. But
yeah, and I'm gonna go and I said that I liked one way on one game, and now I'm thinking that I like something completely different. But the first game that I'm totally in coin toss mode on is the Jags go to New York and play the Jets.
yeah, the first game we have on our list is the Jacksonville Jaguars ahead to the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football.
2021 draft, top pick number 1 and number 2 are gonna go head to head.
Yep, and I couldn't be more torn about a game, if we're gonna be honest. I love seeing the Jags, roll up and be like, "Hey, Tennessee, we're coming, and you're losing still, so you better watch out." But then at the same time, it's just like I enjoy, that the fact that they didn't just throw Joe Flacco in last week for the Jets. I was getting frustrated the week before because all the stuff Saleh was standing on the podium and saying, and none of what he was saying was going along with what was happening. And then finally, unfortunately, it let come from a Mike White injury. But they brought Zach in, and he didn't lose them that game. Like he played admirably against the Lions defense, who's playing motivated and significantly better than the first half of the season. And with that being said, I'd love to see the Jets make a run. I didn't personally have either of these teams in the playoffs this year. I had the Jets a little bit further than the Jags. I had the Jets, one of those teams right there on the outside. Like looking into the playoffs. But the reality is they still can both of these teams still can make the playoffs, and we're in week 16. That's freaking nuts. And so, I'm really torn because like, yo, if this little, last year or year before had the number one pick, had a dog water season last year, and they're gonna try to come around and make the playoffs this year with the new coach. I got a lot of respect for both of these teams, and like I'm torn because I hate Tennessee.
Well, let's figure it out because I haven't registered a pick yet. The last 5 to 6 weeks, Trevor Lawrence has been playing phenomenal
Dude, he's been
football.
playing lights out.
He's been playing the type of football that everybody expected him to play coming out of college. He's finally settling into a system where I think he's going to have his coach for a few years. So we're finally starting to see what he's going to be like. The run game is still phenomenal. They've got great.
ETN, yeah, dude, ETN's emerging. I was sad to see him sit his rookie season, but he is emerging this year.
So he's starting to play like he's got some experience. And then you got Zay Jones out there that's killing it.
Dude.
And
Christian
then you
Kirk,
got
Zay
Marvin
Jones.
Jones is playing complimentary wide receiver too out there. And this team is starting to look like the powerhouse on offense that we thought. Now you're going into New York and you're coming up against a brick
A
wall.
powerhouse defense. Like, honestly.
And the defense is young, it's opportunistic, and you're going to have a clash that I haven't come to a pick yet, because my heart says right now I'm picking Jacksonville, because I want Jacksonville to catch Tennessee so bad, because I just want him gone.
Dude, I'd love to see some new blood taking a division. Like, that's huge. In every division in the NFL right now, you can make the arguments for the Niners, but they won the division like 3 years ago. Most of these divisions have been locked up by the teams that are respectfully are going to win them. And you give the leeway a little bit to Cincinnati winning their first division title in a row, but Baltimore is right on their tail after having a down year last year. So, like, there's not really, like, new blood. Like, Cincinnati, yes, if you clinch the division again, significant props for that, because you went from 2-12 to clinching your division and going to the Super Bowl. So, like, if this were last year, I would be, like, twice as excited for the Bengals, because, like, that's their first time. But, like, outside of that division, everything else has kind of been locked up where it is, other than the East, NFC East, but they were just bad. I didn't expect the whole division to be good this year. And so to see Jacksonville take that plunge and know what's at stake every single week from here on out, because listen, we'll get to that game, but Houston is going into Tennessee. Do you remember what happened last year when Houston went into Tennessee? And so the cards are all right there. And as long as Jacksonville keeps the hot hand and they don't quit, like, they have that ability. I know I'm getting fuzzy, and I don't want to, like, sit here and battle with this thing, but I have to, or it'll drive me crazy. But the thing I love about Jacksonville the most is, one, Trevor Lawrence progression, because he was kind of boom or bust this year in terms of what people were thinking about him. And I didn't feel comfortable with that. I think next year was he's going to boom or bust, because he's had 2/3 head coaches in his a year and a half he's been playing. So I was thinking, second year under the same coach twice, then you can say boom or bust. But, like, most people are putting that on the table now. They want to see results now. This is an instant gratification type of people watching, the young group watching and stuff. So, but the thing about I love it is he's, it's always like put up or shut up. Well, he's putting up, and he's rejuvenated the career of not one, not two, but 3 guys this year, in Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones. And, like, it's just amazing to see.
Marvin Jones too.
In Marvin Jones, yeah, I mean, he's not as much talked about, but yeah, you can make that argument. Trevor Lawrence has single-handedly rejuvenated this entire group of guys who kind of were just misfits that Jacksonville just threw money out there because they wanted someone to come. Like, they didn't care. They gave Christian Kirk like a $72 million deal or something crazy. Yeah, it was the bunch of misfit toys. They threw money out, and anybody who bit, they were like, all right, come in here. And now they're looking like geniuses for it.
Hey, how much does Jacksonville this year, although they're surging a little bit later, look like Cincinnati last year?
Honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that comparison.
They really look very similar at this point in the year.
Similar types of stories. Now, the only difference is if you gave me 2 options for the rest of my time of watching football to coach my team, Doug Peterson or Zach Taylor, I wouldn't even look towards Zach Taylor. Like, there wouldn't even be a question.
Sure.
Like, that is the only difference between these 2 teams right now.
Situation's very similar, but and the way that the teams are playing looks very similar. Will that be the same thing for the playoffs if they make it in?
If they make it in, I'm rooting for them all the way, unless they're in Kansas City.
Are they going to win this weekend, though? Are they going to win tomorrow?
And this is where, my heart's breaking. because we do have to make that decision, and I'm sure we're gonna split on this. But I'm gonna take the Jets. They are due for a win. They've come off 3 losses in a row?
I think
4.
4.
They're due for a win. Jacksonville, the problem is will Doug Peterson be able to reel all these dudes going on an ego trip after beating Dallas? I think they might get it a little bit in over their head, and it might slow them down. But do I think this game might be a shootout? Yes, I do. Despite the defenses, both these teams are going to ball out. Because, look, you can say it all you want. Zach Wilson's not that good at football. He is getting better, but the guys around him are really good at football. Like Garrett Wilson elevating Zach Wilson. The run game elevating Zach Wilson. The offensive line, not that bad. This defense, everybody around him. Zach Wilson might be the worst player on that team. And, that's crazy if your QB is the only bad player on your team. And so he's growing, and I think these guys haven't completely lost faith in him, and they're going to, try to elevate him as much as possible. And Robert Saleh is not an idiot. He knows what's going on, even if he doesn't come on the stand and say the right things. But I think this is going to be the bounce back week that the Jets really need. And listen, no one's going to be like, well, you beat the Jags. But the Jags are no joke anymore. They're not a pushover team anymore. They went toe-to-toe. They took Dallas to overtime and they beat Dallas on a pick 6, dude. Listen, that is, that defense for Jacksonville was bad. And now they're looking so much better. I know they gave up 28 points or 24 or whatever, but, they're getting better too. And so I am going to take the Jets. But this is one of those games I wish ended in a tie because I don't want either of these teams to lose.
Well, I really so I'm going to go back since the bye week. They go and they beat Baltimore by 1 point. They squeak that one out. Then they take a hammering loss. I mean, they get absolutely killed in Detroit. But who's playing better?
Which blew my mind thinking back of these two teams.
Who's playing better offense, though, than Detroit for the most part in the last couple of weeks?
Jacksonville's getting there, though.
So, but in that game, but they put up 28 versus Baltimore. They put up a miserable 14 on the road at Detroit, which you're going to lay eggs on the road. And this is what's going to get me to my point. Tennessee, they go to Tennessee and they stomp Tennessee. They put up 36 in Tennessee. They only give up 22. And then they take Dallas to overtime and then they win. They are riding a really big high. Their offense is clicking really well. And now they're going to go face the top-notch defense. And then any other time they faced the top-notch defense this year, which was
Kansas City. Well, no, not a top-notch defense.
Philadelphia, and maybe, I'll give
They took Philadelphia to the wire.
They put up 21 and 17. Do I think the Jets are going to put up 21 more points?
I think the Jets can put up 20 points, yes.
So I think I got to pick the Jets too.
I firmly believe the Jets can put up 21 points.
My heart wants Jacksonville in the worst possible way because my playoffs, I want Jacksonville and I want the Chargers because I want all the good quarterbacks in the league to be there and in the AFC. And I want to see Justin Herbert compete in the playoffs. I want to see Trevor Lawrence compete in the playoffs. I don't want to see Ryan Tannehill in the playoffs.
Well, Ryan Tannehill's probably not playing another snap this year. I was going to get to that when we get to the Tennessee game. But anyway.
Jeff, I could use a drink, bro. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jeff, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being in here as always. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. But the next game we got on our slate is Atlanta heads to Baltimore to take on the Falcons. And I'm going to let you go ahead because I've got my opinion and I've got what I want to say about this already ready to go.
Atlanta, you know what? They made some steps with
Ritter
last week. They did show signs of improvement. However, I'm just going to go out and say that I'm going to take Baltimore and their run game in this. I think it may not look as fancy, but I think they're going to control the ball. And I think Atlanta's still trying to find their feet with Desmond Ritter at quarterback. let's go ahead and give me the Ravens at home. I don't like them to cover this spread, though, because I think their offense is really reeling right now. But if you can go to Pittsburgh and win, you can come home and beat Atlanta. I gotta stick with that.
Yeah. So Crafty asked a good question. Who is QBing for the Ravens? I have no idea.
I'm going to assume that it's going to be Huntley, but Lamar's trending towards being back. Also, another note for people that don't know, um, Duvernay is gone for the rest of the season, and they picked up Sammy Watkins off the waiver wire.
Um,
So, wide
yeah, they
receiver,
did pick up Sammy. If he can stay healthy, he can be a valuable guy. He was in the offense last year. He says Huntley's hurt too. Last I heard, Huntley just had a concussion and he was better.
yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure he's back. But and then the other one that the other part of that I wanted to get to was oh snap! It just left my tongue. Let's
I do
see.
love Sammy, Jeff. I got a Bills Sammy jersey, and I meant to continue the trend and buy all of his jerseys, and I just didn't.
Do you know Justin Jefferson is only 4 receptions behind the whole team of the Baltimore Ravens for wide receivers for the season.
Yeah, they are a run first team. I mean, that's no disguise. They don't hide that.
But they're effective running the ball. I still think no matter who's quarterbacking, they get the win on Saturday. I'm sorry, at 1 o'clock. And
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this is our list of Saturday games. Most games this week will be played on Saturday because this is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. They're only having 3 Christmas Day games plus the Thursday and Monday. But my thoughts on this game is Atlanta has not, they've played tough all year. There's very few games that got blown out. Um, their struggles came more on the road than at home, and they are on the road here. Baltimore isn't exactly an ideal place to play, especially when it's crunch time for them. Um, Listen, they didn't have an offensive identity with Mariota, and now Ritter is in there. He is a rookie quarterback. He did not look bad, but he did not look good against the Saints, and that was a tough first game of your career. Um, but I think they are still going to have that issue with no offensive identity. They still, are out with some of their key guys for the season. Ritter is just trying to find his footing in this league, and so he's going to have his struggles. Baltimore's defense is getting a lot better from where it started and all the fourth quarter collapses. I love Desmond Ritter, but he's a rookie. He's supposed to struggle. This defense is going to come locked in at home, and they're not going to make his life any easier. They've got Cordell Patterson. They've got a run game, and that's the only thing going to keep him in this game, honestly, is the run game. If Ritter goes out and throws 3 interceptions this game, I won't be surprised. And it's not about him. It's about this team not having any sort of identity, no offensive game plan. They just roll the dice, and whatever happens is what I feel like they do. Now, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, whoever else could possibly be on that roster, QBing, it does not matter in my opinion because Harbaugh coaches every single quarterback the same. If you watch anybody who's ever filled in for Lamar Jackson, they bring out the exact same game plan they run with him, and things aren't going to be all that different. If there is a QB3 starting, he's getting the first team reps. He's getting all of that stuff he needs to know to be ready to go into this game. And I think this is going to be an ugly, boring game, maybe like 13-7, or 13-3 kind of game. But I think it'll be enough for them, Baltimore, to get the win. I can't pick the Falcons right now, especially because of what's at stake for the Ravens. Like, I know the Falcons are still technically in it, but when they, pretty much said Mariota's not coming back this year, I know it was partially to a knee injury. It kind of felt like they just gave up for the year.
Yeah, agreed. I have no trouble with this one whatsoever.
No, I really didn't have any kind of struggle with this game. All right. So the next game we've got on our slate is the red hot Detroit Lions and go to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Lions, we talked about them. High scoring offense and a defense that is tightening up late in the year. They're making it hard on some offenses, which we didn't see at all in the first at least half of the season. And we've got the Panthers still hanging on by a thread somehow. A lot of respect for that interim coach right now. He's got these guys rallied. He's about 500 since he came in. And you know, I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. I wouldn't want my team to play against the Lions right now. And that's all I'm gonna say. Is like, listen, this might be a shootout. It might be a close game, but I can't take Sam Darnold over Jared Goff. Now, do you think that's a debate we ever thought we were having? Who's going to be better? Oh, Jared Goff by a mile because he's been slinging it. He's been fighting to keep his job next year, and I think he's earned it. At the very least, for next season, he has earned a job. And, he's creating connections with all these guys. Jamison Williams coming to this offense late in the year after the ACL from college. He's made an instant connection with him. Amon-Ra St. Brown. These two running backs they have on their roster, everything's clicking the way it's supposed to, and they're peaking at the right time because their defense is also at the same level as their offense for once this season, and they're looking like an actual deadly team.
Yeah, and Nathan drops up history. Steve Wilkes has done a great job, but I just feel like the momentum train is on the Detroit Lions. I don't think that they feel that there is anything that can stop them right now, minus a Philadelphia or a San Francisco teams that are playing that well. Give me Detroit on the road. I love Steve Wilkes' job down there. I hope he gets an opportunity to coach that team because he got shafted in Arizona as a head coach. And he's done a really good job with very little left on the roster. But that defense in Detroit has really tightened up as well since they let go of their
I've got a lot of respect for Dan Campbell because I think they got rid of a linebackers coach or
cornerback coach.
No, I'm somebody on their defense they also got rid of.
The cornerbacks
Oh, I think you
coach.
said quarterback. I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. But yeah, they have lost very few games since they got rid of that guy. So obviously he was the Carson Wentz of the team, and they've done so much better. And whatever's working or whatever's going on with him is working. Aiden Hutchinson, their first overall pick, he is, being a star. That his defensive line is finally getting pressure on quarterbacks. These cornerbacks are, getting the pass breakups that they were just getting blown out by earlier in the season. Let me fix this freaking camera real quick. It fixed itself right when I went to mess with it. But anyway, this whole defense finally clicking. Do I think the Panthers can win this game? 100%. This realistically is a coin flip, but I don't usually do this, but I'm going all in on the hot hand. And also, who doesn't want to see the Lions in the playoffs, man? Matt Stafford got his ring, and the Lions turn around the next season to make a playoff run while Matt Stafford is done for the year. That's not what I meant by that, but their team they were done when they started.
It sounds like a win-win for both teams now, doesn't it?
Yeah, Detroit's just leveling, look what we can do if you would have stayed. Now, Robbie Anderson is with the Cardinals. He went crazy and they kicked him off the team. He literally went crazy. He
Right
pulled
on.
a baby Antonio Brown, and they kicked him off the team, and then Arizona scooped him up. They're saying to get Alex a camera. My camera's great, man. It's just the lighting in this room, and with this different computer, yeah, maybe if I can get some better lighting, it will work out for me. But the next game we've got on our slate is the Bills go to Chicago to take on the Bears.
Wow, it feels like a trap game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you say everything you need to say about it, and then I'm gonna tell you what I have to say about it because this is one of the things I told you I'd come back to.
Yeah, I know Khalil Herbert comes off IR this week. I know Chicago's dumped a lot of their defensive players, and that really does hurt because the guys that they got rid of are impact players elsewhere.
Two
They
of the
might
two of the better defensive players in the league.
they might have been able to make a playoff run, but this team is sold on being better for next year and going forward. They're not about this year. They're about getting Justin some experience this year. As much as I would like to take the Bears at home today because they play very competitive football at home, I'm going to stick with Josh Allen and the Bills just because I feel like they're going to eke out a win.
Okay, last week I sat in here and said the Bears will not beat the Eagles, but they will go toe-to-toe with them because right now the Chicago Bears are the Philadelphia Eagles' baby brother. That they're the same team, but one of them has a whole lot more talent on it. But they're the same team. So I was 100% ready to take the Bears. Like 100%, I was going to tell you why. I was going to give you every single reason. I was going to lay it out until about 20 minutes before this stream on. I hopped onto Twitter and I found out who the officiating crew for this game was. And there is only one crew in the league that absolutely hates the Kansas City Chiefs. And the only way to get at the Kansas City Chiefs for, not losing to the refs last week is to help the Bills keep winning so they can stay ahead of Kansas City. And that is one Carl Sheffers and his crew. If any other crew is officiating this, give me the Bears with the upset. It's supposed to happen. It feels like a trap game. You said it yourself. The Bears are not the most talented team, but they are playing winning football despite losing every week. They could have won this game. They have enough of a run game to separate this Bills defense. Look, this Bills defense is elite, but they have the same problem that Kansas City does, and they can't stop the run. They have enough run in Justin Fields and David Montgomery, and I don't even remember who the other running back is, but he performs well for them also.
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert, yeah. Those three guys will tear this defense apart, but they will not win due to the crappy officiating. I'm telling you right now, out of all the games in week 16, the officiating will be at its absolute worst on this game. And if it's true, then it can confirm everything I've ever thought about Carl Sheffers. So I'm going to take the Bills, and I'm going to be absolutely terrible, but I am going to be a Justin Fields super fan all weekend to try to beat the refs. Because if he can beat the refs, he can win that game. I know the Bears can win that game because it is a trap game, and Buffalo has fallen for that already this season. So I'm going to take the Bills with a pit in my stomach and feeling terrible about it. But I believe in Chicago. And like I said, I was ready to just tell you why the Bears were going to win, but literally right before I found my AirPods, I got on Twitter and found out who was officiating this game, and I was instantly so mad. It could have been anybody. The Bears were going to do it for us. The Bears were going to, give back to the Chiefs they don't have any reason to give back to us. They passed up on Mahomes.
I did pick the Jets, correct?
You did pick the Jets.
Thought so. I'm going through making my picks as we sit here. That's the other thing, man. These games this week are all this way. I feel the way
Jeff gets it. Jeff gets it right here. Dude, I'm telling you, I feel bad for anyone who has to, have his crew officiate their games. But if it has anything, I'm sorry, I'm fixing the camera. If it has anything to do with the standings of the Chiefs, they're gonna get wrecked, man. It's just the way it is, and I'm used to it. It makes me mad, but I am used to it now.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's. Our next game on the slate, let me get this in here real quick, is the New Orleans Saints head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And for whatever reason, my gut is telling me you and I will split picks on this one.
Well, yeah, I'm really unsure. I felt like so many of these games were coin flips. the over-unders at 32. Not teams aren't really expected to score a lot of points. Andy Dalton does not have a lot of luck in Cleveland. The one thing that really bothers me about New Orleans is I don't feel like Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara. I don't feel like Jarvis Landry's Jarvis Landry. I feel like everybody's laying down except for like Chris Olave and a few of these other guys. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, Jarvis Landry's been hurt almost all season.
But he's out there on the field.
And also, Jarvis Landry came to the Saints to play with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, there you go, Michael Thomas.
There's another guy who hasn't been there.
Yeah, this team is just so beat up, and yet they're still right there in competitiveness for this division. I think I'm just going to roll with the home team again. I think Cleveland is better. Since Cleveland was 10 points better than Baltimore, they will definitely be better than New Orleans at home. And I think
you said the over-unders are 32? Dude, I think this game's going to be an absolute shootout. Both of these defenses have given up 130 yards on the ground and 200 yards in the air at least every single game. This game's going to be a shootout.
How do you figure that anybody's going to be able to run the ball against Cleveland?
Well, they're giving up 130 yards a game already this year. That's their average.
I mean, the Ravens did not get anywhere near that, did they?
I don't know. I didn't watch a second of that game.
The Ravens just got beat.
Also, the Ravens teams that usually beat up on Cleveland is Lamar himself running all over them. Listen, I know Tyler Huntley is a baby Lamar, but that is, one of those things. He's just not Lamar.
Yeah, I hate picking Cleveland at home, but I'm
taking the Saints on the road because they still have something to fight for. The Browns are still technically in it, but they're not really in it, in my opinion.
No,
one stop might change the game. You're right. Both these defenses really haven't been all as great as they're supposed to be, and so this game will be a shootout. I think Deshaun Watson's gonna be able to move the ball in the air a little bit more. In game 3, and Andy Dalton has found a new love in his other than Olave in Juwan Johnson, this tight end, and Cleveland's not very good against tight ends either. So I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think one team will have that 32.
Look, I hope you're right. A lot of the games I'm picking this week, I'm rooting for the other team for sure.
Yeah, I think this final score is going to be like 32-28. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm going to give the Saints the edge because they're just right there.
I love it.
I really think the Saints are right there. They've struggled all year, but Andy Dalton has seemed to be better against teams he's played in the past when he was with Cincinnati, now that he's not in Cincinnati.
He's not playing bad. He's playing admirable ball this year. He'll definitely have a job somewhere next year. 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, only 7 picks. Not playing bad football at all, considering his offensive line.
Considering his 7 picks, he had 3 in one game.
Yeah.
And that was just a terrible day. But let's move on to the next one. We've got my boys. The Seattle Seahawks are heading to KC to take on the Chiefs. You already know what my pick is. I just want to give a quick shout out real quick to Geno Smith. He made it to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career this year, and I think it's well deserved, man. I know they kind of fell off in the last couple weeks, but I think it was a well deserved earning. There's not a lot of NFC guys to combat him because Brady's not making the Pro Bowl. You could make an argument for him, but the players didn't vote him in, so that says something all on its own. The players make up for 33% of the voting, the coaches make up 33% of the voting, and the fans make up 33% of the voting. And Tom Brady didn't get in. Aaron Rodgers didn't get in. So it says a lot, really. And so shout out to Geno. This is a big moment in his career. He's been in the league, like 7 or 8 years, and this is his first Pro Bowl.
Absolutely. And you know what? Let's sum up, some of our thoughts going forward. Uh, to me, and I
Right
know
here,
that,
man. Right here. This is all you got to say about this.
yeah, I got my pick, and I would be a fool not to. I would be a fool not to take the Chiefs at home in this game, just because they're going to put up scratch. They're going to scratch a lot of touchdowns. They're going to play well. But this is the last real threat I feel they have to lose this season. If they come out in this game a little bit flat, they can. This is the only game they got left they can lose.
I mean, we've got Denver and the Raiders, so we can literally go 0-3. If we lose to the Seahawks, we could go 0-3.
I just don't feel like they will lose to those teams. I feel like
I
they've
mean,
got it
I don't
right.
think so either. I'm biased, but I don't think so either.
But
But I saw how they played against Denver like 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
I saw how they
and
played against Houston last week.
the reason I feel this way is that Geno Smith has played admirable football. 26-8 this year. That's a pretty good interception. That's more than 3-1 TD to interception ratio. Kenneth Walker has not played in Kansas City yet. He's absolutely playing phenomenal football. And, you've got the right receivers there. Kansas City secondary sometimes struggles against guys like Lockett. I really feel like this game is going to be the shootout. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I really don't think that the Seahawks defense is prepared for what they're about to see on offense.
Yeah,
And
but I also don't think Kansas City's defense has been playing well enough to combat DK, Tyler Lockett. Well, actually, I don't know about Lockett, but and Kenneth Walker, those guys alone.
yeah,
I'm not disrespecting my boys, but
Noah Fant too. I mean,
the defense has been a downside lately. And we got a lot of guys on our defense that is dealing with illness currently. Like a lot of them. Half of our D tackles are out sick right now. um, so look, I'm not gonna act like I'll be shocked if something happened. I don't know if Lockett's back. As soon as I said his name, I was like, I don't know. But like, listen, I'm not gonna be blindsided if this game goes down to the wire. But Patrick Mahomes is going to continue to prove why he's the MVP in this league, and that is what is going to carry them to a win, even if it is a 1-point game in overtime or a 3-point game in overtime. Like
yeah,
he's proving to me, like the Texans game proved to me that he is the MVP. He went 86% on his passes, and he threw the ball like 46 times.
yeah,
And he didn't have a single incompletion in the second half and in OT. The dude is playing out of his mind right now. He's putting that entire team on his back, and I think that's enough to get a win. I think this game's going to be like a 31-21 type game.
I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a little closer than that. If I was to bet on this game, I would Kansas City being a 10-point favorite. I would stick with the Seahawks. I still think Kansas City gets to win, and I agree with you that I think Patrick Mahomes should be the MVP because he does more for his team than Jalen Hurts has to do for his, and that's real important. When they win games like last week against Houston, Mahomes' numbers were through the roof. He carried his team to that victory. His team did not help him that much in that game. That's the reason why I think the Hawks will be competitive. Give me the Chiefs by about 5.
All right, on to the next. We've got the New York Giants head to the bank to play the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm pretty sure the Vikings have played like 10 home games in a row.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Listen, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I'm taking the Vikings because the Giants are just not it to me, but go Giants. The Colts let me down, so go Giants.
Dang. You know what? I think Minnesota's luck has to run out sooner or later. And as we get closer to the playoffs,
Well, they're the only team in the NFL that only plays home games, so
you know,
Dude,
You know,
seriously, I feel like every week we just sit here and talk about, the Minnesota at the bank, and it's just like, when do they leave the bank, okay?
dang it. They're such.
Go ahead, speak your wisdom,
Mm. You
enlighten
know
us.
what? I'm gonna roll against what I think. I'm gonna back it. I'm gonna back off. I picked Minnesota last week because the Colts are god awful,
I picked the Colts last week because I don't trust Minnesota.
and for that reason that you picked the Colts last week, I'm gonna take the Giants this week. I have more faith in them than I do the Vikings. Give me the G-men in Minnesota.
Dude, I hope you're right, man. I don't have the guts to do it, and it's going to be that same Dallas Jacksonville situation. If they win, I just don't have the guts to do it because they had the most miraculous comeback of all time. But whatever, man.
Well, to have that comeback, they had to play the worst half of all time to start it. So
That's true, but like all I got to say about that is like whatever, man. Seriously, I hate that. Let's move on. The next game, we got your boys headed. Wait, are they headed? No.
yeah,
Where am I at? I lost my. Oh yeah, we got the boys headed to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Patriots lost a real close game to the Raiders. Bengals coming off a high win over Tom Brady, which was the weirdest game ever because I went to bed, Bengals were losing, woke up, the Bengals doubled the Bucks score, and the Bucks didn't score again. I was like, what the fuck happened? No,
so
I'm
I
not judging because my team went in there and steamrolled them too. So it's like that's whatever.
I literally hate this game because all the things that tell me that I should be happy about, I'm apprehensive about. Bill Belichick's a great coach. That defense plays excellent football at home. They have lost games, yes. They are not playing regular football. Their offense is down. Our defense is really good. I, I'm going to say that this is the game out of the last three that I think we've got the biggest opportunity to get beat in. And I really hope that they
I
go
can't
into
believe
this
you're
game.
saying that, like, when you still have Buffalo on prime time.
I feel good about that game.
I
I
mean,
don't feel good about going to Foxborough.
no,
See,
I agree completely. I fucking hate going there. I hate it.
going to Foxborough, you could run into a juggernaut. And here's the other thing: that team had to go to the podium after that game against the Raiders with total and complete embarrassment, and they humiliated themselves when they had every opportunity to win that game. Humiliated themselves. What you were tied. Why do that? They're not. They're going to be focused. They're going to practice well. Matthew Judon is a stud. This game is going to be tough for us to win, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm going to pick my Bengals to win the last three and be the 2 seed going into the playoffs. And who day?
Listen, I'm so torn on this because every single game this season I have picked the Bengals to win, they have lost. Every single game I've picked the Bengals to lose, they have won. Now, I'm right there with you. I think the Patriots can easily win this game. And I'm not even going to say easily because of that defense, dude. At home, that Patriots defense is another breed except for against Justin Fields. That's the only exception. I'm scared for Joe Burrow meeting Matthew Judon. Like, I am actually afraid for that man because Matthew Judon is no joke. He is like Myles Garrett. He's just like Nick Bosa. He's just like the TJ Watt. He is that guy, okay? He's number 2 in sacks in the league this year. And he's a scary bad man. I'm scared for Burrow. Do I think Burrow's a tough kid? Yeah. I don't know who to pick because I don't want the Patriots to win, but when I pick the Patriots to win, they lose. But when I pick the Bengals to lose, the Bengals win. So this is a deadlock for me. When I pick either of these teams, they lose. When I pick against either of these
Tie.
teams, they win. This is
I'll
the
take a
most
tie.
definition of a tie in terms of how I pick ever. Now, I was fully prepared to come in here and pick the Patriots and just sit on that high horse, but listen, I'm taking the Bengals to win this game 14-7, okay? This ain't going to be no 34-17 game. Nobody can convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I just know that this isn't going to be the type of game that everybody thinks it is. It's going to
This
be
is
more of
going to be a rough game for both of these teams.
it's going to end up being a defensive battle. And
Like, this is gonna be like the Chicago or the Cleveland and Baltimore game. Like, this is gonna be like a total of 21 points in this game. Like, it's gonna be ugly. Joe's not gonna have a good day. Mac Jones ain't gonna have a good day. These two defenses are no joke. Look, the only offense for New England right now is their run game. Look at Cincinnati's run defense. It's actually pretty good. And the highlight of their offense, Cincinnati's offense, is definitely the pass game, and New England's defense at home is so scary. It is so scary.
you know what? I want to go back and give a little bit of props because in place of Trey Hendrickson last week, Joseph Osai played out of his mind. Quarterback hits, fumble recovery, played a great game in his spot down there as a second-year guy. I just wanted to give dude props because he stepped up for being the next man up.
Shout out to Trey Hendrickson, though. Even though he broke his wrist, he did make it into the Pro Bowl, so well deserved.
Yeah, and he will be back before the end of the season.
14-10, yeah, that's probably the highest scoring game you're gonna give me. 24 points. Like, now I said that, so they're each gonna put up a 30 piece, but no, that's realistically like 14-10, 14-7. That's about it. Like,
Hey,
it doesn't matter who wins. That's going to be the score either way.
This is about going to a place where
How the heck is Hendrickson playing this week? He broke his wrist.
He's going to be. I didn't think he was playing this week. I thought he was going to sit one more week, but usually it's he played with a broken wrist last year.
Dude, not me. I'm a wuss. The type of position he plays, I feel like his wrist's kind of important.
Braced up.
But I'm going to take the Bengals. If the Bengals lose this game, if they lose, I'm telling you it's true. Whichever team I pick for both of these teams, if I pick them to win, they lose. If I pick them to lose, they win. So if the Bengals lose, you better hope that I pick the Bengals to lose for the rest of the
year. What do you want to bet, Chris? No, I'm not betting on my Bengals, and I'm not betting on with you against your team.
He's bucked up. He's learned, man. He's learned. Don't bet on your team. Don't do it. Especially like game to game. I've gotten myself burnt. Last time I bet on the Chiefs, like in the regular season, Patrick Mahomes got hurt. So, yeah, that's a no-go for me. All right, let's move on because I think we're on the same page here. Go Bengals. F the Pats, man. We all know. But the next game we got on our slate, this one's going to hurt. We've got the Commanders going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. And pause real quick. He says, if I win, you got to talk good things about Brady. Brady's not there anymore, so that's irrelevant. We're moving on into discussion. The Commanders are going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. And this is going to make Packers fans happy, but the Commanders are not winning this game.
No, if they would have beat the Giants last week, like I thought they should have.
They should have, but did you see that PI they missed at the end of that game? The hold, and then the pass interference all in the same play?
Yeah, I mean, granted, the officiating was horrible in that game. And also, the illegal formation where they called it on Scary Terry for not being on the line, and he looked at the official and
checked with the official first.
And there was no advantage gained by their formation. It should not have been a penalty. Every chief official that's ever been in the NFL that does commentary said that shouldn't have been a foul, and that cost them a touchdown. They could have tied it. However, they're going to go out here and they're going to play surprisingly well against Brock Purdy.
I think so too. I do too.
The defense that Washington possesses is going to do well against a quarterback like that. I think the game's going to be close. I think the weapons of San Francisco give them an advantage, plus the top-rated defense at home. It's going to be fairly low scoring, but Brock Purdy gets his win, and San Francisco moves on.
Brock Purdy wins 3 in a row.
San Francisco and Baltimore are some of the only teams that no matter who they put in a quarterback, I still feel like it's the same team.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, I'm having a tough time betting against the Niners right now, just period. Like point blank. I know McCaffrey's a little banged up. That might make a difference. But listen, there's nothing new there. We all know that. But listen, I think the Commanders, the one thing I love about them the most, without Carson Wentz, of course. Yes, I did, Nathan. I'm aware. I was gonna go back to it, but uh I just realized that right before you sent that message, and I was like rearranging my things over here. But the one thing I love about the Commanders the most, or the Washington football team, or the Redskins, that's how far back I've been cheering them on. Um, is that they literally don't quit. That doesn't matter how bad they are, they do not give up. And so that's why this game will be closer than it should be.
Yeah, I look, this Commanders team has fought their way back into potential being in the playoffs. It's a shame that they draw San Fran right now.
Yeah,
Or
dude, it's just the worst timing. Like they have to win 2 of their last 3, and right now it's only looking like they might win 1 of them, which will probably not be enough unless a lot of people above them lose. And
but you know
so
what?
it's just poor placement in the schedule, man. Like
I'm
if
gonna
this
I want to throw you some props really fast because you've gotten either beaten or scoring so many times or whatever. You're actually picking more with logic now than you have the whole entire season.
if they yeah, okay. I'll be there right there with Jeff. I'll do this just like I did with the Texans against the Cowboys who just fell short. If the Commanders win this game, I'll buy me a jersey, and I will buy one other person a Commanders jersey. I said it against the Texans against Dallas, and I was gonna hold true to that. But if the Commanders win, I'll buy me and one other person at random, of course, in one of our live streams a Commanders jersey because listen, I love those dudes, and I've been looking for an excuse to get one anyway.
I want a Dotson jersey.
Well, if you win in the random picking, then
Okay. Jahad Dotson would be the jersey that I would want. Or Chase Young.
I don't know. Mine's probably me a Heineke. I'm not gonna lie. I love that dude. I can't not love that dude. Even if he's not there next year, I love that dude.
Chris, I would gladly buy a Patriots jersey regardless.
Dude, why would anyone waste their money? $120 for a piece of trash.
Um, I would wear a Matthew Judon shirt.
I 100% would wear a Matthew Judon shirt. Like that's not even like I was. That's the only not trash, dude. Listen, I'm telling you, that dude is. I see that dude in my nightmares, and I know Joe Burrow is going to also win or lose that game. He's going to see him. But let's move on to the next game, which I did skip a game, but we'll go back to it now. And this game is important, and I can't believe I skipped it. But we've got the Houston Texans heading to Tennessee to take on the struggling Titans. The Texans have looked like a very high caliber team the last 3 weeks straight. They almost beat the Cowboys and they almost beat the Chiefs. They should have beat both of those teams. Now, listen, the refs, Carl Sheffers, didn't want the Chiefs to win that game, but they played out of their mind, so I'm giving credit where credit is due. And the same, if they had taken 120 seconds off the clock against the Cowboys, they won that game. That's it. That's all they lost by. They can't win. They're just like the Bears, man. They're playing winning football. They're just not winning football. Except for I think the Cowboys roster is better than the Texans by a couple steps. Listen, last year, it was earlier in the year, but it still happened. The Texans went into Tennessee and they played one of the biggest upsets of the year. I remember that was like one of the most talked about upsets last year. And that's why I'm going to bet on them this week. I didn't pick them against the Cowboys. I said it would be close. And I didn't pick them against the Chiefs, but I said it would be close. But I'm picking them now against the Titans, and it's still going to be close. But this Titans team's struggling bad.
I'm gonna read. I like your thought process, but I feel like Tennessee is gonna right the ship for at least 1 week.
I said that last week.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think.
I've been saying that for a little while. I said they're going to get back to where they need to the last couple weeks, and they have not. They can't. Something's wrong with them right now.
Yeah,
And
and I know why you're saying that, because that's exactly how it looks. Whether it be bad luck or whatnot, or just bad quarterback play, I'm not. I don't have a really great reason why, but just like the couple of weeks before, I felt like they were going to be competitive in the game. I feel like the Texans are going to be competitive.
also, I did mention it earlier, but Ryan Tannehill's most likely out for the rest of the year.
Ooh, that kind of changes my thought a little bit too. What's his injury?
Whatever happened last week where he got carted off and then came back,
Oh,
I
that
never
ankle.
figured out what happened.
It was a foot or an ankle. I remember hearing it.
But I read a thing today that he might not take another snap this season. I feel this one in my gut. I don't pick the Texans. I don't do it. And the few times that I have, they've taken me down to the wire, and once was against Philly. It was ballsy, but I did it. And I feel it in my gut this week.
Yeah, and that's just it. I just feel like for all the good that they've shown, they're going to slip back into the other way. I'm going to give me the Titans at home for no reason at all.
Give me the Titans at home for no reason at all. That's fair. I'm not judging you. Listen, I gotta throw out some bold ones there.
Oh, there you go. I wouldn't put any actual money on anything. I want Houston to roll them in this game. I want it to be 40-0. I don't care.
Just for the record, like every week that the Texans are 12 or more point dogs, I always put like $3 or $4 on the money line just in case. Just in case. I do it every single week. Just earn a couple betting bucks. Obviously I have not hit any because I haven't won any in weeks. They've only won 1.5 games this year, but I just do it for the heck of it. Well, let's move on because we got a couple big games to really talk about here, and starting with this one, which I personally feel like should be the primetime game. It's not, but we've got the Philadelphia Eagles going into Dallas to play on the Cowboys, with potentially Gardner Minshew as their starter. It's potential. Hurts is not practicing. He could still play. I don't know, man.
Dallas Goedert is scheduled to come off IR. Has that happened yet?
Yes.
That is a very important piece to that puzzle as well.
Both of their tight ends, Schultz and Goddard, those are two keys to that team that I don't think get talked about enough.
Dang, I got what I think, but these two teams are eerily similar. I mean, even though Philadelphia's is a better team, I just feel like they're both about pressuring the quarterback. They're both about being opportunistic on defense. They're both about running the ball. If they don't run the ball, they don't play well. I think Philadelphia has the edge in the running game. But, my gut says in this game that I should be taking Dallas at home, and I think I'm going to do that.
I'm going to take Dallas at home as well. And I think the Eagles can still win this game. Dallas is just due for a actual bounce back game, and it's the same situation as Tennessee, but Dallas is a much better team than Tennessee. And I'm not just saying the loss to the Jags, but even if they were able to win that game, they looked horrible. And then the week before, they looked horrible against the Texans. Dak Prescott is throwing a lot of interceptions. He's turning the ball over a lot, and they look horrible. Their defense is getting exposed finally, which makes this a very tough matchup. But I'm just saying right now, with or without Hurts, Minshew or Hurts, the Eagles can win this game. And if Gardner Minshew plays this game, I will be the biggest Eagles fan in the world because I know they can win that game with him. And then it will prove my point that Patrick Mahomes is the MVP.
What if Minshew's mustache becomes sentient? Crafty, I love that.
You know what? Jeff just made me. I feel like I speak too much on especially this week, about what I'm actually gonna take the Eagles because I think they're a good enough team to win every single game. That's why they're 12-1 or 13-1. Like, it's not all Hurts. They have the most complete team outside of San Francisco right now. Gardner Minshew is the most motivated backup quarterback in the league. Okay, nobody is more motivated than that guy.
He's probably undoubtedly the number one backup this season in the NFL. That's easily a case you could make.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles. I bet against them a couple times when I shouldn't have this year. And this is a makeup call for per se. I'm going to ride with the Eagles. They deserve it because I've given them too many doubts. And the way that Philly's defense is playing and the way that Dak Prescott is playing, I just don't trust them. Their defense has been exposed the last couple weeks and they're turning the ball over. I feel like that's enough for a division rival to take advantage of. With or without their star QB. So, I'm going to ride with them. And final answer, because if I take the Cowboys and the Eagles win, I'm going to beat myself up over that. So, I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm not going to be a dummy.
I'm not sure if I know he's been, I know he got picked up. I'm not sure if they activated him yet.
I don't know about that one. On to the next game. We've got the primetime Saturday game. We've got the Raiders heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Listen, this one's gonna... I can't really be happy about this game no matter what happens, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, Pittsburgh's defense at home, I don't want to mess with it. Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph, like, I told you, this is a time of the year where Pittsburgh gets locked in, and they just lost a former Steelers legend, and, no, this guy, there's no argument for me. The Steelers are going to win this game. No one's going to be happy about it except for Steelers fans. I mean, they deserve to put on a memorial for this guy, of course. The Raiders can win this game, but I have to take Pittsburgh at home right now. On a primetime game, that's just like their breed, man. Like they're made for primetime games.
Man, here's the thing. Here's what just kills my brain. I like this Raiders team. I want to pick them, but I don't trust them as far as anything being consistent whatsoever.
But listen, I don't trust either of these teams. Let's be honest here.
I trust the Steelers.
The Raiders absolutely needed a win against the Rams, one of the worst teams in the league, and they choked at Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. I want to be able to pick the Raiders. I would like to pick the Raiders just because
I would like to pick them too, because I hate the Steelers well more than I could ever hate the Raiders.
And then they got the emotions, the immaculate reception. He dies 2 days before the game or 3 days before the game where he's going to be honored for that reception. You know what? Everything says that it's going to be a Pittsburgh win. I don't think I will not be surprised if the Raiders win, but I got to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if they can step up and win this game. They're playing a little bit more motivated. They're wound up over that Patriots win. But I really can't believe that they're going to lose this specific home game. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
And this is and then the other thing is this is one of the only games I have the opportunity to catch Nathan on because he knows all my picks before he makes his. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what he's saying in the chat right now, but I can't tell if he's sarcastically agreeing with us or he's actually agreeing with us.
Now
I think the Raiders can win this game, but this is the Steelers game to lose. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Like, this game, my team could be going in there, and I think I'd have to pick the Steelers on this one.
Yeah. Hey, you can't cheat when you get 13 right in a week, bro. Just saying.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
no
just
such
saying.
thing as cheating when you can pick 13 winners in a week.
Bro, you can't cheat on that thing. If you could, I wouldn't be losing to you.
Hey, Tim's got the Raiders too. Yeah,
I mean, I want to pick the Raiders, but I can't.
It's a great game to be split on because, that's just the way that it happens to be.
I mean, it was just like, like a couple weeks ago, I picked the Steelers and I hated it, but this is that time of the year where they're annoying. They are annoying. And that's the Mike Tomlin effect. They're just annoying. They don't go away, and right when you need them to, they don't. So that's when they shove it in your face. And if they crap the bed on this, their fans are going to be really well, I wouldn't want to be there if they lost this game. I'm just saying that. And if you're a Raiders fan at that game, I wouldn't want to be there if the Raiders win. Like you might get lynched in the parking lot. Like seriously, I don't know. Like they're horrible fans.
Just to give a little bit of Raider love real fast, they've been
I got a lot of
just
respect for them, but their
they've been
offensive
in
line's not
every
that
game
good.
this season. They only lost by a point in KC. They lost by 2 at Tennessee, which is a game they should have won. They should have beat Arizona.
They should have beat Arizona, dude.
They should have beat the Chargers in the first week.
They've choked so many 17-point leads of games they should have won. Like their record should be way better than it is. And I'm not disrespecting them by any means because I've given them a lot of credit when I didn't feel like I needed to. Like they hadn't earned me giving them that credit, but I was still giving them credit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, this is no disrespect to Nathan, to Raiders fans. Listen, I know most Raiders fans outside of the few friends I have that are Raiders fans, like most of them don't like me and think that I just disrespect. But like, listen, I hate Pittsburgh more than I could ever hate the Raiders by a mile.
Oh, the Raiders always play competitive football, and that's just.
Oh, the Steelers will have a losing record. This will be Mike Tomlin's first ever. That will happen. Like they're not going to finish with a winning record, but they're going to win a couple just to be annoying.
Well, if they win, they got to win 3 more, don't they?
They have to win out, and they're not going to win out, I don't think. Next game on the slate. We've got the Green Bay Packers in the midday or the morning Christmas game heading to Miami to take the Dolphins. If you give me a terrible towel on Christmas, I'll block you from YouTube because that is the dirtiest gift ever. I'd rather have a Brady jersey than a terrible towel. Like seriously, there is no team I hate more than that one. Like when I see people coming around with their they bring them to work to the casino, man. They bring them to work and hold them over their shoulder during game day. Like I'm like, that is disgusting. You're probably using it in the bathroom to wipe your butt after you use the bathroom. Like that's disgusting. And then they're waving it around like idiots. No. I don't like them. And I will never change my mind. They're my least favorite football team. So we've got the Packers taking on the Dolphins, and this is my biggest upset of the week because it is an upset, but I'm taking Green Bay because they ain't dead yet. Listen, they ain't dead yet. What's up, Eric? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm rooting for Grossi, man. I can't help but root for that guy. And I think the Dolphins have slipped. They should have beat Buffalo. I still believe that. They could have beat Buffalo. But I'm going to say that the defense pulls it out of their butt. What's up, Mike? And, they run the ball like they're supposed to. Christian Watson gets involved. Romeo Doubs gets involved. Alan Lazard gets involved. Everybody gets involved and Green Bay wins. Like, they're finally playing like a real football team. Last week made me feel so much better about Green Bay than I have all year long.
I literally hate Miami. I hate Tua Tagovailoa.
What a response, man. I thought you were going to be like, I literally hate Green Bay. Like, I thought that's what you were going to say.
You know what? I hate Tyreek Hill. He's not my favorite person. I don't like him. Jalen Waddle, I love. I like Raheem Mostert. I don't like Tua, but I really don't like this team, and I do not want them to do well. But I think they are going to win this home game. As much as I want to pick Green Bay and jump on the cheesehead train, I'm going to take the
I feel
Dolphins at
like
home.
I'm an honorary cheesehead, dude.
I'm going to take the Dolphins at home, hoping that I jinx them into losing this game.
Dude, your jinx thing isn't gonna go on forever.
No, I really. But here's the
Tua's not a
thing.
kicker.
Here's the thing. I think Green Bay has a better offense than Miami. I'm going to come out and say that. I just feel like Miami's going to play well at home. I don't think Aaron Rodgers does well in Florida, period. So
I want to believe that's because I think that's the way it's supposed to go.
it's the way
But
I feel.
you know, I watching that Green Bay game last week or whatever day it was, like I'm not sure he has faith in his game. Didn't watch his picks today. I did not watch his picks. I usually watch his and Wyatt's before. I did watch Wyatt's, but I didn't get to Grossi's. He's not influencing my picks. He's going to pick Green Bay no matter what. I have picked against Green Bay this year. There's a difference between me and him. I'm comfortable with making that decision, but Green Bay last week just lit a fire in me because they did everything I've been looking for them to do all season
Yes.
long. And they hit every single mark I wanted to see them hit all season long in one game. And if they can just ride that wave all the way to Miami, just get down on the ocean, ride the wave all the way down the side of the U.S., get to Miami, they can pull off a game in the warm weather. It's not going to be that warm. It's not going to be like the 86-degree Buffalo game when they went down there. You know, it'll be warmer than they're used to, but it's not going to be that big of a defense. Yes, they can get after QBs, but that's another Mark Green Bay hit. Their offensive line played its best game all season. Rodgers did take 2 sacks, but they played their best game all season.
I really think Green Bay can win this game. I'm still picking them.
If they would have crapped the bed, or even if they won and it didn't look convincing last week, I would have picked Miami today. But like, I'm serious, they hit every single thing I've been looking for them to at least get one thing right on. Their special teams has, jumped by a mile since trading or cutting Amari Rodgers and putting that Nixon dude in there. That dude's a great kick returner. He's brought life to the special teams. The defense tightened up this week. The offense was clicking everywhere. A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones. Even the third string guy was getting reps because A.J. Dillon did, suffer a slight injury. So I'm confident in this one. I'm not usually confident in picking Green Bay, but I'm confident in this specific one.
Cool enough. Let's go to the garbage games that are left.
Yeah, well, you kind of hit that one right on the nail. The next game we got on our slate is the literal worst game of the week. We've got the Broncos headed to the Rams, and I could care less who wins this game. I could care less. Give Baker a dub. Give Baker a dub. He gets right after last week. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, who do you pick? Do you pick the good defense or the slightly okay practice squad offense? I think I'm gonna take the Rams.
F it. I think I'm gonna take the donkeys on the road. It seems like the wrong thing to do, so that's why I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go against you because like I feel like that's where I was at.
I mean,
I'm gonna take Baker to get the home win, get the crowd on his side, and so he can maybe have a home next year. Like, there's literally nothing to talk about in that game. Like, if anybody watches that, I feel sorry for him. Actually, you know what? We'll be watching that, so whatever. It's on Nickelodeon. That's how you know it's like it's a joke, man. Is Wilson still? I have no idea. It doesn't matter, honestly, in my opinion. Like, I'm not even a Bronco hater, man. But I'm so sick of both of these teams this year.
I like calling them the donkeys, though. That's a great analogy.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but like, they have a Super Bowl defense, even without Bradley Chubb. and they still can't do nothing except for against the Chiefs, which just whatever. But like, let's move on because I absolutely hate that game.
Next shitty game.
Woo! Hang on a second. I almost messed everything up. I'm trying to like keep tabs of each of these games on here, and I about made a boo boo. All right, let's see where we're at. 20, 30. All right, next game on the slate, we got Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay heading to Arizona to take on Trace McSorley and the Arizona Cardinals because Colt McCoy has been ruled out. Listen, if Tampa Bay doesn't win this game 34-12, I'll be shocked.
Brady fans get to rejoice. He's going to get to have a game. I do not think he will play as poorly as he did against Cincinnati in the second half. I don't think that Arizona has anything to really compete with. And I'm with you. I think they get a considerable win on the road, and the fans are back up in arms for, Brady going to the Pro Bowl.
Oh, dude, if they lose this game, I'll actually be mad. That's another team I'm sick of is Arizona. If Tampa Bay loses this game, I'll actually be angry. They should put up 34 points on this defense, and they shouldn't allow this offense to score more than 14.
Agreed.
If Tampa loses, Brady has to retire. He's not here to agree to that, but it should be a given. Yeah, absolutely. And also, Soul Train says, is it true that YouTube might get Sunday Ticket? Yes. They were supposed to find out the earliest day they could have an answer on that was today. I was at work all day, so I don't know if they did. I'm sure I would have heard of it if they did, but so we could find out any day now after today if they do reach that agreement, which I think will be very interesting. Haven't won in Arizona since 2010. I know I should listen to the history, but if Tampa Bay doesn't win 34-10, I'm going to be stupid mad.
Well, that division's crap, Crafty. Just saying.
That division is not a highlight in the NFL, that's for sure. Yeah, give me Tom on the road by at least 14. And
good things about Tom Brady, Chris.
I'm just saying, if Tom loses this game, then he will get the utmost, every ounce of disrespect I have in my body on Monday. Every single ounce of it. Like, I will be insufferable if he loses this game. Let's switch things over, wrap things up. We got the next game and our final game, the Monday Night Football game, which I'm actually kind of excited about now. We've got the LA Chargers heading to Indianapolis to take on Big D Nicky Foles and the Indianapolis Colts. Give me the Colts. I don't care what the score is. I've been waiting all season to see this game. I've been waiting all season long, and he's finally going to get his shot. He hasn't played in like 2 years. He should be bad due to that standard, but no. He's ready. This is what he's been waiting for.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I would like to just jump on that bandwagon and go with you, I think the Chargers win. No doubt.
Literally, the Chargers are the only team in the league that could choke this loss away.
And fair, I believe that too, but I still think without Jonathan Taylor, I think they can really work on the pass defense. And I don't think Nick Foles, since he hasn't played very much, it's going to take a week to get him ready.
Hang on a second. What did I call him? I called him Tom Brady's daddy. That's what I call him.
Ouch.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got a win over Brady in the Super Bowl.
He's gotten a couple wins over Brady, but one on the biggest stage.
Now, you know what? And the fact that they waited this long to play him bothers me too.
No, the Chargers should win this game. But I'm taking the Colts, and it's not because of Nick Foles. That just helps my case. But the Colts have completely swept the AFC West so far this year. They've beaten the Chiefs, they've beaten the Raiders, and they've beaten the Broncos. So listen, that's our kryptonite, the AFC South, I'm telling you. So they're going to beat the Chargers. It's just how it's supposed to be. Now, the Chiefs were supposed to beat the Colts. Realistically, the Broncos were supposed to beat the Colts. I know for a fact the Raiders were supposed to beat the Colts. That means the Chargers are supposed to beat the Colts, and if anything goes the way that it's supposed to, then the Chargers would win. But Nick Foles is going to win this game.
I hope you're right because I want to see chaos at the bottom of the wild card. But I really think Justin Herbert is the class player out there this week. And he goes through. He gets 3 touchdowns and 350.
Yeah, well, so will Nick Foles.
That will be interesting.
Now, I mean, I've got all the faith in the world.
I love your confidence.
As soon as I got the update at about noon today that Nick Foles was the starter, I was already going to pick the Colts. And then turned around and say Foles beat Brady. I mean, last year or the year before when Nick Foles was a Chicago Bear, he was underdogging that game, turned around, beat Tom Brady, and Brady wouldn't even meet him at the field to shake hands in the game. He went straight to the locker room. I've got no respect for that man. 0. Might be a fun game. I think it'll be a great game. I'm so excited, man.
Oh, I definitely think it'll be a fun game.
I think it's going to, even if the Chargers win, which I won't be mad because they're supposed to, but I'll be a little bit mad because they'll be the only team in the division to beat the Colts this year. So I'll be a little bit salty about it, but it won't matter if the Chargers miss the playoffs. Like, it won't matter. But I think the Colts are gonna. This is like this is the Colts Super Bowl right here, and they're bringing their threat. Nick Foles in to win their Super Bowl. Like, it's coming. They're on prime time against a young star and Justin Herbert. It's coming on. Yeah, well, Nick Foles was on the Eagles when he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and then he was on the Bears when he beat Tom Brady again. And next year. He's going to be on the Colts and beat Tom Brady again.
Frank Reich didn't like the competition with Carson Wentz, so he moved on from him in Philadelphia. They really didn't want to let him play in Chicago because of Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. So he's just going to wherever he gets a contract for a year and sits back as third string. But every time he plays, he does go out and win.
Colts are kryptonite. No, the Colts, the Titans, we've only beaten the Titans once. Well, now twice this year in the last 7 matches, and the one was in the playoffs. The rest of them were in the regular season until this year. We've got our first regular season win against the Titans in a long time, and the Jags we struggle against. The only one in that division we don't really struggle against, meaning we haven't lost to, is the Texans. That's the only team in that whole division that does not give us and they still give us headaches. You saw the playoff game. We went down 24-0. Yeah, we ended up winning that game by 30 points, but still, they give us a headache, but they haven't beaten us. But the rest of those teams, they beat us, and it makes me so mad because I don't understand.
It's absolutely awesome though when we go through this chat and when we're picking games.
Bro, the helmet catch is legendary. That wasn't Nick Foles, but that's Peyton Manning's other daddy, Eli.
You mean Tom Brady's other daddy?
Or yeah, Tom Brady's other daddy, Eli. I said Peyton, didn't I?
You know what's awesome though? We go through our chat and there is so much intelligence in our chat between a lot of the people. And then at the end of the day, you have Chris, who's just the proverbial Brady.
Yeah, Chris.
He's the proverbial Brady guy that's just never going to let it go. He's gonna ride it until
hang on to the past, man.
He's going to ride. Here in next year or two, you're going to hear Tom Brady's the best commentator to ever hit the booth. I
don't know if he'll be as good as Romo though.
I don't think so. No. The people that we have in our chat is flipping awesome. Even Chris is okay sometimes. When he can get out of his own way. But everybody in here puts in great input, and it makes these streams every week a blast when we pick games.
I agree. Dude, but the helmet catch was awesome. I don't care if you're a Patriots fan or not. That was awesome. I didn't have a dog in that fight. I rooted for the Manning because it was a Manning, but That was awesome. I saw another helmet catch like that in the Miami game against Buffalo. And that was in the snow, dude. I lose my mind over stuff like that. Mr. Shane was doing so well, and then he was like, and then there's Chris.
Hey, you're a flipping troll. I get to troll you right back.
Bro, if you troll, we troll harder.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna win that in here.
I got told today that I was not a nice person at work. Because I don't let up on anybody.
I can't imagine anybody telling you you're not a nice person.
Dude, they told me I wasn't a nice person because I won't let up on anybody. If they start going in on me, I go in harder and I don't stop. So I got told that's not the words that were used, but basically that I was not a nice person, and it made me laugh so hard. Would it be funny if a team paid Tom Brady a bunch of money to be a mentor? I could see it. I mean, Jimmy G, that's what they did with him this year, and then Trey Lance broke his leg. They gave him good money to be a backup, basically to be a mentor, to not play, just be there.
He took a pay cut, though.
I did make Nathan a pretty cool little thumbnail today. My coworker's team is the Giants. Dude, I sat in a family of Patriots fans for both of those Super Bowls that they played against the Giants. And the best part about that, it was almost the same game twice. Like, the score was almost the same. It was literally like the same game twice. And like, I just remember like feeling so uncomfortable, but so excited because like that whole family, you could hear 16 houses away. It was so silent in there. Like, and I was just like, well, that's a pretty good game, don't you think? And then I went home. Alex does not play well with others at work. Bro, I'm so nice, but if you're my friend or if you're gonna go in on me, either one, I'm gonna do it right back. I'm not a pushover.
Nah.
Whenever I met Alex, I asked Shane for help, and she was like, "He can't save you." Yeah, he can't save you, bro. He can't even save himself from me, man.
I just let it go.
He knows I won't give up.
Because it's not that she's mean. She's just relentless and convinced. You can't change her mind generally.
That's true, Soul Train. He said, sadly, if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl while being a backup, it'll count towards his overall total championships. That's the only reason Jimmy G has rings. Unless someone loves Brady, you're very kind to a lot of fans and you have the knowledge to back up opinions. Well, I do my best, especially on here, to just be a nicer. But I love bantering with people. It's my favorite thing ever. Because first of all, people think because I'm a girl that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I know that is not how it should be, but that is how it is. That is people's first thought on the internet. And so I love and I welcome argument because it's my first of all, I just like arguing anyway. If you say that pen is blue and that pen is gray, I will argue with you for 4 hours over the fact that that is not the color of that pen. But when it's something about that I like about football, I love it. I absolutely love the banter. I live for it.
So, if anybody wants to know the reason why she's this way, when she was little, it was just her and I for the most part. And I didn't treat her like a child when she was little. I talked to her like an adult. I treated her like an adult. I let her make her own decisions. I let her fight with me on those decisions. And we argued over them instead of me just laying down law. I created this type of person with her. And now she's the most strong-willed young woman that I've ever come across.
Bro, this is okay. This is one of my coworkers. She can attest that I will go toe to toe with anybody at work. I mean anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if I don't even know them. I'm ruthless while I'm at work. But to be fair, when you work in the casino industry, if you don't have a backbone, you do not survive. You created a monster. Listen, working at the place that I've worked for the last almost decade now has really helped me be a bigger adult.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, and that's just it. Chris says I created a monster. I think I created a very, very strong woman, and I'm very proud.
Well, I appreciate that, Soul Train. I try to be cool because I love you guys. Everybody in this chat every single day or week or whenever we're live, you guys are family to me. And, family is above all. And I argue with family way more than I can argue with anybody else. So,
Hey, do
uh,
you want to talk before we finish up today? I know we've gone a little long, but do you want to talk about figuring out schedule for the rest of the week while we got a few in here?
we got a hectic schedule, ladies, gents, and boys, aka Chris. Um, Yeah, we've got a hectic week. Or actually, we got a hectic like 3 weeks, man. So tomorrow, obviously Thursday night football, I will be running late unless I can get out of work early. So you're probably going to see a little bit of him at the beginning of that football game, which I'm not going to miss it though. This will be my first Zach Wilson game of the year. And I'm not missing it for nothing. Yeah, look at this. We're showing some love. See, but my coworkers love me. I am ruthless at work, but they appreciate it. And thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate the kind words, honestly. But so tomorrow, like I said, Thursday night football, I will be doing that for the most part. He's gonna probably most likely have to kick things off for me. He's got his Thursday night metal detecting stream that night as well. Friday, I don't know if there's anything.
7 o'clock basketball game with Indiana.
They play it on. I thought they didn't play again until the 27th. I thought
Seven
that was.
o'clock
I looked at their schedule.
Friday at 7 o'clock.
This Friday or next?
Hang on.
Okay.
12:23, 7 p.m.
I swear it said the 27th. Okay, so perfect. That works out beautifully. So it's tomorrow night, Thursday night football at around 8. Then we've got Friday college basketball at, you said 7:30?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Saturday, we've got a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and an 8 o'clock game. And we're not going to sit here and discuss those details, but someone will be here for all three of those slots on Saturday. Sunday, unfortunately, I wanted to do the Green Bay Miami game, but I'll be at work, and so will you most likely. I didn't know what your Christmas schedule was like.
I gave anybody with young kids, I gave the day off, so I'm there longer than normal.
Okay, yeah. See, I figured you'd be work. I'm working as well. I don't get off till 4 o'clock. So you'll be in here for the 4 o'clock game on Christmas.
I should be, yes.
Okay, and then I will be
Denver at the Rams.
I will be in here for the Sunday night football game on Christmas. And obviously Monday. You got anything Tuesday?
Tuesday. I do not.
I don't know what day Tuesday. Tuesday's the 27th. Do you not have an Indiana game the 27th? Because I was swearing up and down you did.
No, after Friday, my next game is the 5th. Whether I'll be here or not, I don't know.
Maybe I was looking at Elon when I clicked schedules because I had looked into them yesterday. Maybe I was looking at their schedule and not Indiana's when I had that pulled up. Hang on, let me go back in the chat a little bit for a second. Tim says first time here. She's been in the chat one or two other times, but I know she comes in here every now and then and just hangs out and listens. I believe she's a Bengals fan, so you got that on your side, Dad. Soul Train asks, y'all like college football? I'm gonna answer first and say absolutely not. Like I tried, but I do not. But if you are interested in the college football playoffs, Papa Blood will be in here covering as much of that as possible. What, on New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve at let's see, 4 o'clock Eastern time, TCU in Michigan, and then 8 o'clock Ohio State and Georgia, which should be a
dude. That should be a good game. That should be the championship game, in my opinion.
And anybody that has moderator status for the channel, if you're in, I would really applaud you guys to be here that day because college football gets very ruthless and I get very defensive. So people like Nathan and Tim, if you guys can stop in that day to help out, I appreciate that.
Bro, Chris, don't try to recruit people in my chat. No one's coming to the dark side with you. If anyone was going to be a Patriots fan, they would have been. But no one's going to join that side now. I promise. Now that Tom is gone, I don't think you're going to get any recruits, man. Especially Bengals fans who are winning football games right now and leading their division. So I don't think it's going to work. You can try, but it ain't going to work, man.
Super stoked for those two games. And the main reason why I'm stoked about the college football playoff is that I have two Big Ten teams to root for. I really feel like we're headed for a Georgia-Michigan clash in the championship, but definitely will enjoy both of those games. And those
Michigan's honestly impressed me from the bits I've gotten to watch.
I like TCU.
You are a brave soul for streaming those games. Seriously, I've been in the chats for some of them that you've done. I can't do it. I got thick skin, and I can handle a lot, but I can't handle the college football crowd. Like, I will be the first to admit that I cannot handle it. Also, yes, Nathan, since he plugged that in there real quick, be sure if you have not done so to join our Discord. And also, I'm about to drop another link in here because we are only 5 followers away from hitting our Twitch goal. And if anybody has not done so, I would be very thankful if you did help us hit that 50 mark. And where is the YouTube? I have so much stuff pulled up right now. There it is. Here is the Twitch link. Yeah, we are only 5 followers away from hitting that goal, which is going to be, I'm going to be so excited, which hopefully we do that tonight so we can party on the stream. College football fans take their football so personally. Like, I don't know why, like, I can deal with the college basketball crowd, and I've come to love it the last, 2 years. It's fun and it's crazy and people are passionate. And I get that that's the same energy going into football, but those are a different breed, man. Like, I can't do it. I'll just stick to being an NFL fan. Like, I'll follow these kids going into the draft and, like, I will, learn about them. I'll watch their highlights, so I know who to root for when my team gets up on the podium to draft. But I can't do it. I can't watch. I'll watch the basketball because, like, the one thing I like about college basketball, and I'm fixing this camera again, but is, like, I appreciate, like, the fact that it's the same in football, but I feel like it's so much more broad in football. But, like, kids in college are really trying to get to the NBA and, like, really trying to earn a career. And a lot of college basketball schools, with the exception of, like, a couple, most of those kids care about their education too, like, deeply care about it. Like, the NFL or college football, all they care about is getting to the NFL. Like, yes, they want to make the big bucks in the NBA, but most of them stay their course and get their degrees as well.
Or go back and get them.
Yeah, you don't see that as much on the football side. You see it every now and then. There's a couple people, but not as a lot.
Yeah, and just for everybody's information, after the college bowl season ends and all these kids decide, who's going into the draft or not, Nathan has been working on, we're going to prep all the positions before the draft, and it's going to come in here. We're going to do some pre-draft stuff with Nathan too, so that'll be fun.
I would like to go to one college football, like, tailgating experience. Like, I think that would be cool. Like, it would be a one and done for me. Yeah, see, that's how I used to be Soul Train. I used to just watch the Madness tournament, and because, like, you'd see a team like Harvard come in there and win a game, like, well, first of all, how'd you get here? And second of all, how'd you win that game? But, like, everything is unexpected in that game, in that tournament, and that's why I love it. But now, Dad started doing the play-by-plays on here, and, like, I got to listen to him call it. Someone, like, I care about and stuff. I've watched him watch basketball games, and if you've seen how he watched basketball games in the past, you'll understand why I didn't want a part of it. Because he's crazy. but he toned it down for YouTube and really started breaking it down with the play-by-play. Kind of helped me get into the sport a lot more.
Yeah, it's definitely different and it's a lot of fun. If I was just to put the camera on the TV and then just record and then not, and then I could probably make a great video out of the recording.
Also, Soul Train said followed. Thank you so much. I did. If anybody who's already following wasn't on last night with us, I did get a new camera. I've been tweaking it. So it's gonna look a little bit better tonight than it did last night. But I'm pretty excited to have my face on there so you can see how ridiculous my face can get while playing video game. And I was really worked up last night, but I'm pretty excited to keep chugging along on that as well. I have friends who still go back to college and set up a Winnebago and 3 tents and give away free beer and invite their friends and business partners for every home game. Dude, I love that. Like, see, I love the whole idea behind college basketball, college football. It's like the college football, I mean, like the tailgating, the partying, the everything. Like, I appreciate all that. But as soon as their fans try to talk to me about the sport, I shut down and don't want anything to do with it.
Are we ready to roll?
We are ready to rock and roll. They have this guy in Kansas that every year gets ketchup and mustard shot at him while holding a hot dog. I feel like I've seen that guy. I feel like I know who you're talking about. My NBA team's usually bad, Orlando Magic, so I watch the possible prospects. I feel like in the next 2 or 3 years, the Magic's gonna be really good. I don't know why, but they've gotten really lucky with the lottery lately, and they keep getting a lot of guys up on there. They keep getting new guys in there, and they've got a young squad, but I feel like they got a lot of potential in the next couple years. Really, I'm a Dallas Mavs fan, and my team. It's kind of like watching the Chiefs, except for the Chiefs win a little bit more. It hurts my soul, but I love them. And I literally, I never even liked basketball really until I started truly watching the Mavs play. And then I got into it. Come try to catch me when I can't. It's just a different level right now. But yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking here after we made our picks and chatting with us for a bit. I will be live on Twitch very, very soon. Dallas at least has someone to build around. Yeah, I love that boy, man. But I do think Orlando is on the uptick. It's just one of those slow grind rebuilds. It's not like a happy happen in one season kind of thing. I've been following a little bit more NBA, but I think that the Magic has future upside. They're going to chase Luka out of town if they don't figure it out. So that's going to be a sad day. I hope he stays there forever, but you know how it is in that league. Anyway, we're going to shut this thing down. We appreciate your time as always. If you want to come back at the end of this, after we close this video down and in the comment section and leave any of your bold predictions that you may not have said in the chat or anything like that, be sure to do so. Then we can follow them when the weekend gets here and, go back and look and see what everybody picks. And if you haven't joined the Discord, we can always discuss it further in there. We got an NFL tab. We got college football for those who like it. Memes, the food, the music, the video games, everything you can ask for on there. I will be streaming live on Twitch soon. You got anything left in the tank before we shut her down?
Nope. Got other stuff to finish up tonight before I go to bed. Can't wait to watch you guys on Twitch while I'm doing it.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me. Much love, everybody. We always appreciate you spending your time with us. It makes my day every day, honestly. We'll see you tomorrow. Much love. And as always, go Chiefs.